Welcome to Introduction to Design Thinking. I'm Heather Braun, and today I'm going to show you a problem-solving method that's designed to tackle messy problems in uncertain times. This method begins with fully understanding a problem and who it affects most directly. In this case, that's you. While this approach may seem obvious, other problem-solving methods start with an idea, design the idea, and then pitch it to customers last. Design thinking is different in that it offers a way to understand people and their problems before developing creative solutions. Before we go deeper into the design thinking process and then try it out for ourselves, here's a quick review of other familiar ways to tackle problems. Engineering thinking is useful for what we call tame and bounded problems that have been solved in the past. If you're building a bridge, other bridges have been built, and if you know the length of the bridge, the materials, the load it carries, you can use existing equations to solve your way forward. Once the bridge is built, the problem is solved, and you can probably solve this problem again in the future. Business thinking is useful when you want to solve problems with optimal solutions. So when you use business thinking, you have known objectives and criteria to find optimal solutions. Research thinking is an approach that uses hypotheses and relevant data to analyze with the intention of understanding patterns and trends. Design thinking places empathy at the center of commonly adopted research methods and encourages fast-paced, high-energy data collection, synthesis, and prototyping as a framework for solving human-centered, messy, or wicked problems. In a sentence, design thinking is a process and a mindset for understanding people and their problems before developing solutions. Before we try this out, it is important to consider how the following mindsets are key to the design thinking process. Empathy is the first step of design thinking. Who is the person you're trying to help, and what is the problem they want to solve? Optimism and curiosity are important for tackling messy problems, ones that don't have simple or single solutions. Embracing ambiguity means becoming comfortable moving forward even when you don't know where you're heading. Make it. Design thinking invites you to draw a roadmap, create a game plan, or design a storyboard to help explain your ideas visually as well as verbally. Learning from failure. This is a big one. Design thinking encourages playing with many ideas at once and not being afraid to let go of ones that aren't working. Iterate. Design thinking is non-linear. We can move easily back and forth between steps when we need more information to improve an idea. And finally, creative confidence. Design thinking is built on a belief that we are all creative, even when we're unsure about how to proceed. And all of these mindsets become tools for building creative confidence. David Kelley, the founder of IDEO and Stanford's D School, defines creative confidence this way. With creative confidence, we become comfortable with uncertainty and we're able to leap into action. Instead of resigning ourselves to the status quo or what others have told us to do, we are freed to speak our minds and challenge existing ways of doing things. We act with greater courage and have more persistence in tackling obstacles. In other words, creative confidence is having the freedom and courage to fail and take creative risks, and the knowledge that all of our ideas have value. When asked about the favorite project of his entire career, David Kelley responded, "The next one." Part of creative confidence is embracing uncertainty and learning from mistakes. In his TED Talk, Kelley gives this example of a doctor who noticed that his young patients were frightened by the experience of having an MRI. After speaking directly with these patients, this doctor redesigned the MRI machine to look like a pirate ship in an effort to make his patient's experience more comfortable and fun. One little girl asked her mother, after trying this out, "Can we come back tomorrow?" Building creative confidence means embracing a growth mindset instead of a fixed one. A growth mindset embraces uncertainty as a challenge and sees failure as an opportunity to learn. Unlike a fixed mindset, which sees mistakes as a reason to give up, a growth mindset helps us become more optimistic and confident about our ability to solve problems over time, rather than all at once. So let's try out some of these design thinking mindsets with a short, painless exercise called the one-word story. You'll create groups of 3. Each group member will get a number, 1, 2, or 3. And then, going as quickly as you can in this order, you will tell a story one word at a time. Each person adds one word to the story until you arrive at a possible stopping point. If the story sounds ridiculous, keep going until you reach a period. And then congratulate yourselves. Now that we're back, tell me what it was like telling a story one word at a time. Did your story make sense? What was difficult, fun, or surprising about doing this? So now we've warmed up using some design thinking mindsets. You all just embraced ambiguity by going with it and hopefully letting go of the fear you'd make a mistake. But now we're going to look at the process of design thinking. The 5 basic steps in this hexagon show this process as iterative rather than linear. So you may begin at the same place, but you often return to earlier steps throughout the process. So the design thinking process is grounded in empathy, which means the ability to share and feel with another person. You want to immerse yourself as much as possible in their lives and understand more fully their emotions and needs. In the case of product design, you're empathizing with the user and trying to understand their challenge and what they need to solve it. Next, you'll look at the problem from a user-centered point of view. Defining the problem is essential to solving the right problem. This stage is all about determining the shape and size and characteristics of the problem you want to solve. Once we know what problem we actually need to solve, we can begin to ideate broadly and wildly, stopping ourselves from judging or second-guessing any of our ideas. In this stage, we go for volume, which makes it easier to choose our best ideas. Once your group has selected an idea you're excited about, you'll need to make a simple prototype of it and to share it with your user. In product design, this means building our way forward, failing fast, iterating, and getting data we need for the next prototype. Finally, you'll need to test your prototype to make sure it works in product design. This means taking the prototype to the user, having them use the product, and then give feedback based on their experiences. You use this information to continue making your product better. Now it's time to zoom out, to think about these steps in action and what they look like. So this short video from IDEO shows all 5 steps of the design process to improve a basic shopping cart. As you watch this video, write down the individual steps of the design thinking process you see from the hexagram I just showed you. Empathy, define, ideate, build, and test. You can start the video in the next slide.